In the name of God, in this session we will be familiar with distinctive features. What are the distinctive features? What are the rule of distinctive features? The distinctive features are very important, especially in generative phonology, because we divide the sounds based on distinctive features. And knowing the distinctive features is necessary for you in phonology. You should be familiar with the distinctive features if you want to analyze your data. Features as the smallest building blocks. While in chapter 2, at first I read the text and then I explain the details. While in chapter 2 we concentrated on the distribution of individual segments, much of our discussion involved the recognition of more basic building blocks of phonological analysis. Therefore, distinctive features are smallest building blocks of phonological analysis. Indeed, phonetic analysis implicitly recognizes a number of phonetic features that distinguish broad classes of elements. For example, consonants fall into two major classes: those that are voiced and those that are voiceless, according to the voice feature. This in turn implies a binary distinctive feature: plus, minus, voice. Please pay attention here. By distinctive feature, we mean such a feature. For example, voice is one of the distinctive features. It means that we have two sounds which are different from each other just because of their voice. One is voice and another is voiceless, like de and te, like se and ze. We show the distinctive features with plus and minus. By plus we mean that sounds have that feature, have that characteristics. We show the voice sound by plus voice, and we show the voiceless sound by minus voice. This is one of the examples of distinctive features. Please pay attention that we show the distinctive features in this way. We have two square bracket in the both sides of that feature, and we show it as plus or minus. Okay, here we will read about this feature. Defined so that voiced consonants carry the feature plus voice. We show the voiced sounds, the distinctive features of the voice sound in this way. We have two square bracket in the both sides of that feature, and we have plus and that feature. While voiceless consonants carry the feature minus voice. It means that they don't have such a feature. Our goal in this chapter is to extend this notion of distinctive features to all possible distinctive phonological opposition. Okay, here we just read about the voice, the feature minus and plus voice, about the consonants. But we want to read and we want to be familiar with all of the features about vowel, about the consonants. These features serve two purposes. Okay, what is the purposes of distinctive features? One is to provide a unique set of features, values for each distinctive sound unit in human languages. One is to provide a unique set of feature values for each distinctive sound unit in human languages. The other is to have a natural way of identifying classes of sound that function together in phonological operation. Here we mentioned two goals of distinctive features. One is to provide a unique set of features, values, for each distinctive sound unit in human languages. The other is to have a natural way of identifying classes of sounds that function together in phonological operations. For example, in chapter 2, we observe that voice stops in Spanish became approximants in the intervocalic environment. It became voiced or lens. We need a way of referring to set of voiced stops as a natural class. Okay. But what is the binary distinctions? Many phonological distinctions are naturally binary. Okay, we had minus and plus. We have just it is binary distinctions. Many phonological distinctions are naturally binary, in the sense that some psychological gesture is either present in or absent from any given phonological element, plus or minus. The feature plus and minus voice, please pay attention to the way which we show it. We have to square bracket, I repeat it again, and after that we have plus, it means that that feature present, or minus, it means that that feature absent. Introduced in section 3.1 refers to vocal fold vibrations. If the vocal folds are vibrating periodically during the production of some sounds, we say that the sound is plus voice. Okay, you know this way. You know that what we mean by voiced and voiceless sounds. You read about it in phonetic. If in the while producing some sound, we have vibrating in the vocal cords, which plays in Adam's apple, we name that sound as a voiced. And when we don't have any vibration in the vocal fold while producing that sound, we consider it as a minus voice or voiceless sounds. And we had two ways to understand the voiced and voiceless sounds. One was to put our finger in our ear and we pronounce that sound. If we feel any vibrating, we call it as voice sound. Or we put our finger on the Adam's apple and we produce that sound. If we feel any vibration, we consider it as voiced, or if we don't have any vibration, we consider it as a minus voice or voiceless. I think nowadays the voice and voiceless sounds are clear, and we know that, for example, T, C are voiceless sounds and Z and T are voiced. Otherwise, it is minus voice. If we don't feel any vibrating, we consider it as a minus voice or voiceless. Some other phonological distinctions may seem to be continuous. Some other phonological distinctions may seem to be continuous rather than binary in this sense, such as consonant point of articulation. However, even here we will see that the relevant classes can be distinguished by using several binary features. We will thus take the strong positions that all phonological features are binary. As we have seen, a single binary feature distinguishes between two classes of sound. If we have two independent binary features, we can distinguish a total of 4 classes. If we have two independent binary features, we can distinguish a total of 4 classes. The features are said to be independent if the values of one are completely independent of the values of the other. In this case, we say that the features cross-classify the segments. If we then add a third feature, we doubled the number of classes to 8, assuming all the features are independent. In general, with any number n of independent binary feature, we can distinguish second classes of element. Okay, I will explain it more in following. A real example of 3 independent binary features is provided by system of Turkish vowels. A real example of 3 independent binary features is provided by the system of Turkish vowel. An important feature for vowel is, okay, here this feature which I explain for you are just special for Turkish vowels, not all of the vowel of languages. Here what we read is special for Turkish vowel. An important feature for vowels is plus or minus high. Okay, one of the feature of Turkish vowels is highness. Some vowels are high and some are minus high or low. We define the feature plus high as involving the raising of the body of the tongue above the neutral position, which is defined as the tongue position present in the articulation of the vowel. For example, in A. A minus high vowel is articulated without such a gesture. You know about the high and low vowel. You read it in phonetic. And here explain about the high and low vowel. Turkish has 4 plus high vowels. Okay, Turkish has 4 plus a high vowel and 4 minus high vowel, as in 1 here. The plus high vowel in Turkish are I, Ü, E, O. And the feature notion to the left represents the class, while the phonetic symbols in the curly braces to right of the equal sign designated the sound included in that class. Notice, okay, here we have the sound. The feature notions to the left represent the class, here the class, while the phonetic symbols in the curly braces, here is curly braces. We show the sounds in the curly braces. To the right of the equal sign designate the sound included in that class. Notice that the class of minus high vowels include vowels traditionally classified as mid, E, Ö, O, and low, R, O. Here you can see the sounds are the vowel of Turkish. In Turkish we have 8 vowels. We have such a vowel. I repeat it again. It is just special for Turkish. We have 8 vowels in Turkish. According to this feature, I mean according to the high feature, we have 4 plus high and 4 minus high sounds or vowels. Therefore, when we want to show them, we show them in this way. Here we have two square bracket. We write plus high, we means those vowels which are high, and we show the sounds in the curly braces. I, Ü, I, U. And minus high are E, Ö, A, O. The mid and low vowel. That was one way and one distinctive feature which separate such a sounds, these 4 sounds from each other. A second vowel feature is back, plus back or minus back. The feature plus back is defined as involving a retraction of the body of the tongue behind the neutral positions. For example, the position of a. Turkish has 4 plus back vowel and 4 minus back vowel. You can see them here. Which these sounds are different from these vowels because their distinctive features are different. Here about the plus back vowel we have e, u, a, o, and for minus back we have e, u, e, o. I think here we have a problem. Okay, they are not the same. Here we have such a sounds. Please don't make mistakes. Here this kind of O is present here, and they are not the same. These features classify as shown in tree. In each cell are the segments that share the features at the head of the column and at the left of the row defining that cell. Okay, please pay attention to this table. As we explained for you, we divide some sounds according to the features high and back, and we had 8 vowels in Turkish language. We divide 4 of them for plus high and 4 for minus high, and even for back we had 4 back vowel and 4 minus back vowel. But here we want to separate them based on 2 distinctive features according to the high and back. According to distinctive features, I want to divide them. We want to specify those sounds, those vowels in Turkish, which are plus high and minus back. Please pay attention to this table. Using which sounds are plus high and minus back. Pay attention to this point that when our distinctive features become more, and we have more than 1 or 3 distinctive features, as the distinctive features added, the sounds become less. For example, when we say that plus high, according to the plus high we have these 4 sounds, these 4 sounds, these 2 and these 2. But when we say that we want those sounds who are plus high and minus back, we have just 2 sounds, E and U. And when we say that, what are the minus high sounds in Turkish, we say that we have 4 minus high sounds, E, U, A, O. Okay, for minus back it is the sounds. And when we say that minus high and minus back, we have just 2 sounds, A and U. And when we say that which sounds have such features, for example, what are the plus back and minus high sounds, we say that we have just these 2 sounds, A and O. Therefore, as our distinctive features added, our sounds become more limited. When we say that what are the minus back sounds, we have these 4 sounds, and above the plus back we have these 4 sounds. Above the plus high we have these 4 sounds. Above the minus high we have these 4 sounds. But when we say that what are the minus back and plus high, we have just these 2 sounds. And when we say what are the minus high and minus back, we have just these 2 sounds. And above the plus back and plus high, we have these 2 sounds. For minus high and plus back, we have these 2 sounds. A third feature is in Turkish vowel is plus and minus round. It is another feature which based on we divided the vowel in Turkish. A sound is plus round. It by roundness means the shape of our lip. When producing that sound, our lips are rounded. We consider it as a round vowel, and when our lips are not round and is spread, we consider it as minus round. If it is articulations involve a narrowing of the lip orifice, otherwise it is minus round. The set of plus round vowel includes u, u, u. The minus round are included e, e, a, which our lips are spread. We give complete cross classification of these 8 vowels in terms of 3 features. Okay, when our features are more, our sounds will be limited. What are the high, plus high, minus round, and minus back sounds? We say that we have E. What are the minus high, minus round, minus back? Which sound is minus back, minus round, and minus high? It's A. Which are the minus high, minus back, and plus round? Is U. Plus high, plus round, and minus back is U. Plus high, minus round, plus back is E. Plus high, plus round, and plus back is U. Minus high, minus round, and plus back is A. Minus high, plus round, and plus back is O. Okay. And we write them in this way. We say that we want to write the feature of such a sound. We write, for example, E. In Turkish, we say that it is plus high. We show them in this way, in common way. Minus round and minus back. And here we should have the screw bracket, but I can't show it here because I don't have this symbol here. I want to try it in this way. Okay, here I have all of the symbol. Okay, I want to show the common way which we write the distinctive feature of sounds in a common way. For example, I want to write okay, about A, for example. We want to specify A. Here we write we have A. Pay attention to the way which we show them in common writing. I want to write its distinctive features in Turkish. I write them in this way. minus high, minus round, and minus back. When Turkish linguists see such features that which vowel is minus high, minus round, and minus back, he or she says that it is the distinctive feature of A, and we should have a square bracket here. Okay. A square bracket. We put such a feature below the sounds. We show them in this way. Here you can see the common way which we show the distinctive features for A in Turkish: minus high, minus round, and minus back. Pay attention please here that I want to change them. For example, I want to write plus round instead of minus round, and here our sound will be different. I should find the sound which is minus high, minus back, and plus round. Minus high, minus back, and plus round, which is U. It is these sounds. For example, I want to change it in this way: minus high, minus round, and plus back, which is A. Or minus high, plus round, plus back is O. Plus round, plus back is O. We show them in this way. Okay. I hope that you learn this matter. Therefore, you should note that you should keep in your mind that in Turkish we have three distinctive features: back, round, and high, which based on we can specify the sounds and the vowel of Turkish language. The analysis of Turkish vowels fulfills the two goals of distinctive features series stated in section 3.1. First, each vowel of Turkish has a unique identification in terms of these three features. Okay, I show it to you, where each feature carries either a plus or minus value. For example, U is identified in this way: minus back, minus high, plus round. Okay, when we want to write them in our text, we show them in this way. We have a square bracket. Opening a square bracket, we write the first distinctive feature. We have comma. The second distinctive feature, it's minus or plus way, and after that we have comma, and after that it followed by the other feature. Therefore, for O, we consider it, we identify it in this way by this feature: minus back, minus high, plus round. Second, we can identify natural classes of sounds by specifying only one or two features. For example, in 1A, we identify the natural class of high vowel in Turkish. A capital letter is sometimes used to designate such a class, or archiphoneme. Archiphoneme, for example, E. Here, by E we means the phonological form of E, because we have two slashes in both sides of this sound, can be used to represent the class in 1A, that is plus syllabic, plus high. In general, any single feature specification designates a class of 4 vowels in Turkish. Two features together designate a class of 2 vowels. For example, plus back and minus round is we have curly braces. After that we have these two sounds. By these two distinctive features we have these two sounds. However, not all classes of four vowel can be represented by a single feature specifications. For example, E, U, A, O, as I told you, we show the sounds by curly braces. It's not a natural class. I repeat it again. However, not all classes of four vowels can be represented by single feature specification. For example, E, U, A, O is not a natural class because they don't share a feature. They don't. All of these four sounds don't share just one feature. The only way to identify this class is by disjunction, as those vowels that are either minus back plus high, like E, U, or plus back minus high, A, O. Nor is it possible to designate a set of three Turkish vowels by a simple feature specification. For example, okay, here you can see the way we show them as when we want to write their rule. One or more features representing a sound or a class of sound are enclosed in square brackets. The order in which the features are listed makes no difference in the class designated by such a feature matrix. In running text, the features are listed as here, separated by commas, while in rules the same matrix can be given in a vertical orientation as here. I want to repeat it again, it is very important. You should know it. One or more features representing a sound or a class of sounds are enclosed in a square bracket like here. Therefore, we show the distinctive features of a sound in a square bracket. The order in which the features are listed makes no differences in the class designated by such a feature matrix. It is not important that at first we, for example, write plus round or minus back or plus high, or minus high. Their order is not important. For example, at first we can have plus round, or here we can have minus back. Their order is not important. The order in which the features are listed makes no differences in the class designated by such a feature matrix. In running text, it means that here in a text, the features are listed as here, separated by commas, like here. We have a square bracket, opening a square bracket. We have the first feature, and after that we put comma, which followed by other feature, and we have closed a square bracket separated by commas. While in the rules, pay attention please to this point, that in rules the same matrix here can be given a vertical orientation, which I showed you here. We show the rule in this way, the feature in rule in this way, through the matrix, like here. Okay. For example, the set E, U, E is not a natural class. Okay, here we want to introduce the natural class in distinctive features. What we mean by natural class? For example, here these three sounds are not, we don't consider them as a natural class because they don't share just one feature which is common between these three, among these three sounds. Also, it includes only plus high vowel. The class cannot simply be designated by feature plus high, since the class defined by this feature necessarily includes U. The set E, U, E requires the disjunction also plus high, minus strong, minus back. It means that we need 3 distinctive features to introduce such a sound. The set of high vowels which are either minus round, minus back, or both. We define the concept of natural class in this way. What we mean by natural class? Please, the natural class, the definition of natural class in generative phonology and in the discussion of distinctive feature is very, very, very important. You should be able to define the natural class. A natural class, it is the definition of natural class. Please pay attention to this point. A natural class is a class of sounds that can be designated by fewer features than are required to designate any one of its members. What we mean that by such a definition? Since any single vowel of Turkish can be designated by 3 features. Any single vowel of Turkish can be designated by 3 features. We can see it here. I want to show them here. Okay, we show the single vowel in Turkish by 3 features, 3 distinctive features. For example, when we want to specify E, we should write plus high, minus round, minus back. When we want to write U, we should write plus high, plus round, minus back. When we want to introduce A, we should write minus high, minus round, and minus back. For each sound which you can see here, each single sound which you can see here, we should have 3 distinctive features. 3 distinctive features. And when we want to define 2 sounds, 2 vowels in Turkish, we should have 2 distinctive features. For example, when we want to show A and O, we should have these 2 features. By minus high and plus back, we mean these sounds. Therefore, for the specifying the sounds in Turkish, we have 2 distinctive features. When we say that for defining the natural class, our feature should be fewer than the features which show that sounds, I want to define it again. A natural class is a class of sounds that can be designated by fewer features than are required to designate any one of its members. Here we have for designated 2 sounds, we need 2 distinctive features. Therefore, for definition of natural class in Turkish, we should have just 1 distinctive features. We say that it should be fewer features than are required to designate any one of its members. Since any single vowel of Turkish can be designated by 3 features, a class like E and A count as a natural class because we consider E and A as a natural class. Why? Because it can be designated by fewer than 3 features. In this case, 2 plus back and minus round. The class E, U, A, O requires 4 features and thus is not a natural class by definition in 5. Okay. When we want to show a single sound in Turkish, a single vowel in Turkish, we should define it by 3 features. Therefore, when we want to find its natural class, those sounds who are designated by two features are a natural class. A natural class is a class of sounds that can be designated by fewer features than are required to designate any of its members. For designated the single sound of Turkish, we need three features. Therefore, when for defining sounds we have just two distinctive features, we consider it as a natural class because they are fewer than the feature which needs to separate the single vowel in that language. Since the single vowel of Turkish can be designated by three features, which I showed you in the previous table, a class like E and O count as a natural class because it can be designated by fewer than three features. In this case, 2 plus back minus front. We mean by plus back and minus front, we mean these sounds. The class E, U, O, O require 4 features, and thus they are not a natural class because they are more than the 3 features, which is necessary to specify the single sounds in this language. I hope you learn this, you get this point. The natural class of Turkish vowel are important for an adequate description of the pervasive process of vowel harmony in language. You know what is vowel harmony. It is one kind of assimilation which I explained for you in previous chapter. Consider the data in 6 from Clement and Caesar. Here we have such sounds. Rab, ip, ipin, ipler, and iplerin, and other sounds. The nominative singular form of each sound is a simple root. The nominative singular form. Okay, here. The nominative, nom SG stands for nominative singular form. Nominative singular form. It means that this row, this column. The nominative single form, which we show them in this way, nom SG, of each noun is simple root. Therefore, here we have the root of these sounds. The genitive singular, here, genitive singular, is formed by adding a suffix. Adding a suffix. Here, un, un, in, which has 4 alternates. That is, a phonologically determined variant in, here, in, un, and un. They are their suffixes. This consists of a plus high vowel followed by ne. This consists of a plus high vowel followed by ne. Okay. All are plus high vowel which followed by ne. Their suffix is this. There is no reason to regard one of these alternates as basic. We don't need to find its basic form. The suffix can be represented as having the underlying representation in. Pay attention to this point, that we show the underlying representation sometimes as a capital form of that sound. Here, the capital form of E, it means that it is the underlying representation of E. Therefore, pay attention to this point, that sometimes we show the underlying representation of sound by capital form of that sound, where the symbol E by 2 slashes in its both sides represent the natural class of high vowel, which is a plus syllabic plus high. as suggested earlier. The remaining features of the vowel in this suffix are completely determined by immediately preceding vowel. It means that we have here a vowel harmony. Why we have vowel harmony? Because vowel harmony, as I told you, it is one kind of assimilation, which two sounds want to be similar to each other. And here they are not. In vowel harmony, they are not adjacent to each other. Here we have E, therefore our the vowel of our suffix can be E. E-pin, they are the same. Here we have E, we have this form of E vowel because they want to be the same. For U, we have U. U, we have U. Here it is E. And others. Okay. The remaining feature of a vowel in this suffix are completely determined by the immediately preceding vowel. That is, if the preceding vowel is minus back, the suffix vowel is minus back. If the preceding vowel is plus back, the suffix vowel is plus back. Similarly with round, the suffix vowel has the same value, plus or minus, as preceding vowel. The suffix vowel is not necessarily an identical copy of the preceding vowel. It is always plus high, but assimilates to the value of back and round of the present vowel. I think it is enough until here, until the plural suffix works. Please read them with more attention, because they are very, very important, and you should learn them, and you should read them more and more times to learn this point, to get their points. And you should find the example of Arabic and you should practice these exercises, and you should read this text many times to dominate and to get their points.